If you are someone who's been putting in a lot of effort and are tired and are feeling stuck and just want to give up, then this video is for you. I was in your position 3 months ago, and this is what I have done, and you can do too to come out of it. Usually, the reason things are not working is not because you are lazy, it's because you're entitled. You feel you're entitled to get success without any sort of discomfort. And that's not your fault. Society has conditioned you to think that way. We have been conditioned that we deserve things just because. I'm sorry to break it to you, but nobody owes you anything. For example, if you're sending 200 outreaches a day, nobody owes you a response. Nobody owes you that they should be your client. People usually only do that when they feel like they want to work with you. I was reading this book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and it has completely changed the way I look at things. And this is what I have learned from that book. First things first, you have to have 10 times the goal that you think you have, and then take 10 times the action. Whatever you do, we severely underestimate the effort it's going to take to actually make it happen. When you started your business or your fitness journey or anything as a matter of fact, you must have thought, oh, this is easy, this seems exciting, and I'm going to do it. And within a month, I'm just going to be that successful. And that didn't happen. So you thought the thing doesn't work. But that's not true. Anything you do, it is going to require 10 times the effort you think it's going to require. So might as well set a goal which is big enough that you feel like putting in that effort for. You might not feel like putting in the effort to lose 5 kgs, but you would feel like putting in the effort if you're going to get your dream body. It's the same way in business as well. One thing I learned is effort does not mean results. Volume does. I totally get it. When you're starting something new, even doing 1% of what you should be doing feels exhausting, feels you've really pushed your limits. And you have, but those are emotional limits, and those don't get you results. When I started doing outreach for my business, first of all, everyone, I thought outreach was icky. But the biggest creators have said it. Outreach works. Do it. It doesn't matter if you think it is icky, if it is working. And it's only icky because you don't want to do it. I started doing outreach. I did 10 a day, and I would think, wow, I'm so good. Now I'm just going to have all 10 people respond to me, and then 5 of those are going to be my clients. That is not how it. I wouldn't want to post content. I wouldn't want to put in the effort to make a personalized video. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly the case for you, but usually it is lack of effort. The minute I started doing 100 outreaches a day, it completely changed for me. 100 personalized, genuine outreaches a day where you're trying to help people, it is going to change the game for you in business as well. There is no going around it. But you have to be willing to put in that effort, and not once, consistently. Right now, if your goal is to touch 50K months, don't think about 50K months. Think about if you had to touch 500K months, what would you be doing? And then act according. The minute you change that perception that, oh, I have to do 10 times of it, you will know exactly how much effort it requires. And maybe that is the effort to even touch 50K months. When you set the goal for 500K months and put in that sort of effort, that's when you actually touch 50, 70, 80K. I get it. Emotional exhaustion feels real. It is real, but that is not going to get you results. It doesn't matter how tired you are. The numbers have been given. If you're doing 100 a day, you're going to get clients. If you're doing 10 and you get tired, or if you're doing 20 and you get tired, then you're just being entitled. You're telling universe, I have done my bit, now you do yours. That's not how it works. There are creators who are doing 200 outreaches a day through multiple people. So that's 1,000 outreach messages a day. Why should you get that client and why should they not? Point number 2, you stop doing things the minute they start working. Which is ironic, because if something has started to work for you, you should do more of that. But that's not how people work, because their goals are not big enough and they get satisfied too easily. For example, if you're going to the gym, is your goal to reduce 5 kgs or is your goal to stay skinny? What is the point of reducing that weight if you're going to gain it all back? Similarly, what I've seen some of my own clients do is that the minute their calendar gets full, they stop marketing. Then the minute their clients start leaving, they panic, and then again they start marketing. Why would you do that? If your calendar is full, try to figure a way out where you can serve more people in that full calendar. There are 100 ways where you don't have to give your time and still have those clients. But that's not something they even thought about. They thought that was their peak. Here's the entitlement. You think that after one win, you deserve to rest. Whereas your competition thinks one win is a stepping stone to 100 more wins. Who is going to actually have the success in the long run? Think about it. So please don't stop doing things the minute they start working. This is the time for you to double down on it. You're confusing discomfort with burnout. Those are not the same things. Anytime you start doing something new, you're going to feel a massive amount of discomfort, but that is not the same as burnout. Burnout happens across months when you've been overworking, not when you've been doing something new for 2 hours a day and you're suddenly exhausted from it and you need peace. That is not burnout, that is just plain discomfort, which you have to go through if you want those results. Going to the gym, and it's very hard for you because right now you are overweight. So you go to the gym and you walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. Are you exhausted? Yes, because it's new for you. It is discomfort. But is walking 10 minutes a day on the treadmill going to get you your dream body? No. Look at the person walking next to you who is doing it every day for an hour, for 2 hours, and all the other things that they are doing which you're not. When you feel tired after doing 90 minutes of work, that is not burnout. That is just discomfort. And here's the entitlement. You feel you deserve to stop when you feel discomfort. Whereas your competition is willing to take client calls, is willing to go out of their way, send those messages, follow up, optimize. It's not that they don't feel that discomfort, it's just that they know that they have to push through anyways. Your competition is not complaining about burnout. They are doing those 10x reps which you are not willing to do. And that is the only reason they are ahead of you. Your competition, so while you are complaining about burnout, they are just doing more. Instead of complaining, they are actually just taking the steps which they know will get them the results. It is okay to have, it's okay to feel discomfort and still keep moving. You don't need to stop because you think it's too much. It is usually not. The next reason is you treat everything as an experiment. What I mean is, instead of committing to it, you're always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Think of it yourself. Imagine you want to lose weight and now you've started going to the gym for 2 weeks and then you've stopped it. Then you thought about walking. So you started walking for 2 weeks and you stopped that. Then you thought about getting on a keto diet and you stopped that in 2 weeks. And then you complain nothing works. It's not that nothing works, it's that you don't work. For anything to show its results, you try something for 2 weeks and you give up because if it doesn't happen in 2 weeks, it doesn't work. That is not true. Grant Cardone has said himself, we massively underestimate the effort it takes to actually do something. You have to do it for 90 days for it to even show any sort of results to you. And when I say 90 days, I don't mean 90 days of inconsistent effort. I mean at least 90 days of continuous, consistent effort and thought that you've put into doing something before you decide whether it works or not. Every time you switch strategies, you are resetting the effort from. You're resetting your you're resetting your chances to get success back to zero. Before anything can build momentum, you've already switched, which is why those results are not happening for you. The next time you do something, commit to it for 90 days. Don't try it as a sample. Decide that this is something. Similarly, in your business, it takes time and effort for anything to bear fruit. It's not going to happen on day one. No matter who promises you what, it will not be happening on day one for you. Unless you're super lucky. But you can't count on luck. You're always fighting against your own excuses. You're not fighting against the market or the economy. You're comparing your results to what you have seen on social media. You went on social media and you saw that these people are crushing it, they're doing absolutely fantastic, and how are you not? That's because they're putting in 10 times the effort that you are. You all are not in the same arena. They are outworking you 10:1. This is the case I have seen every single time. Now, you might challenge this argument and say that they post 3 times a day, and so do you. They are doing 5 other things while they're posting 3 times a day. They must be running ads, they must be posting, they must be building 100 connections. Most of the work happens off camera. You don't even know about it. So the results you're comparing to and the people you're comparing yourself with, you are not in the same arena. You are going to have to do more than you could have imagined to compete with those people. It's all about your excuses. The minute you decide that my excuses are not as important as my growth is, it will completely change the way you look at things. This is something which was said in the book. If you look at success as your moral duty, not as optional, not as something which would be a nice thing to have, but as your actual moral duty, something which is essential, then you will show up differently. Because if you are not living up to your full potential, you're not only disappointing yourself, you're disappointing all the people who you could have actually helped. You are not fighting against some abstract concept. The problem that you are facing, many people in your niche have faced at some point, and they have gotten out of it by doing more volume. You're fighting against people who are willing to do things that you are not. So don't think of it as luck. Don't think of it as something that just happens to you. You can change that situation whenever you want to. Also, you avoid accountability at all costs. Somehow, when it comes down to your own input, you have all sorts of excuses. You had a bad day. You were going through something. Your internet wasn't working. You had other commitments. This is not something you do. Or you promised yourself you would do 100 messages and you only ended up doing 20. But at least you did 20? No. You have to be accountable to the goals you set for yourself. If you can't trust yourself, how can anybody trust you? If you have said you're going to do 50, you need to show up doing 50 every single day. There is no going around it. This is what helps me, and you can do it too. Usually, this is not a problem people face when they're doing a 9 to 5 because their boss is keeping them accountable. They are willing to put in those extra hours. They have to do that work because there's someone who's going to tell them, why isn't it being done? Imagine you are an employee at your own company. I'm not saying work like an employee, but I'm saying imagine you had someone who's your boss and who's keeping you accountable. That if you don't do these things, you are in trouble. This is what I do, which makes me be a lot more accountable to everything I have to show up for. You could try it as well. You think something being icky is a good enough of a reason for you to quit it. That is your entitlement speaking. At some point of time, making content was icky. At some point of time, social media was icky. Right now, everyone's using those platforms because they work. It doesn't matter if what you feel is icky if it is working. The thing is, you feel you shouldn't have to put yourself out there like that. You shouldn't have to put in that effort, put in those reps to get that result. And I was in that position as well. I wasn't a fan of making content. I wasn't a fan of doing outreach. Nobody likes it. It is something which you have to do irrespective of whether you like it. So if you are not doing things because you feel it is icky, that's okay. But your competition might be doing those things. And then you cannot complain about why you are losing. And one thing, you are waiting for perfect conditions. You're waiting for perfect conditions. There's no such thing as perfect conditions. I had someone come up to me that they will go to the gym once they have nice clothes, once they have a nice pair of shoes, once they have a fancy water bottle, once they have a trainer, and only then will they go to a gym. And there's nothing wrong with that except this person who's just making excuses. Till the time her new clothes wouldn't come, she wouldn't go to the gym. Even if they came and she didn't like them, she would order new ones and she wouldn't go to the gym because it's not the look she has imagined for herself. But the thing is, you can't depend something on your mood or on when you feel ready. You have to do it irrespective. There's no time where you're actually going to feel ready. I have been going to the gym since 3 years now, and there are days when I don't want to. And my trainer is not coming. You have to go to the gym irrespective of what the conditions are, if that's the kind of body you are looking for. It's the same thing which is applied everywhere. Okay, so this video might have pissed you off, and that is good because that is showing you where you need to put in more effort. Now at this stage, you have two choices. One, pretend you never watched this video. Go back to doing 10 go back to doing 10 messages a day, or just stick to whatever you're currently doing. And option two, you actually implement this video and commit to a goal, show up every day, and see your life change. But it's your call. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and subscribe for more such videos.